Hey everybody, this is Hardcore Harry, and welcome back to my top 10 villains. So for a quick recap of the first half of the list, coming in at number 10 was Headmistress Helga and the NON. Number 9, we had Dr. Fred and the Meteor. Number 8, the Ghost Pirate and the Chuck. Number 7, Diablo. I know, another great Deckard Cain impression. I know, I'm awesome. And number 6, Eric the Prick Sparrow. So, without further ado, let's get into the last half with... Coming in at number 5, we have the Elusive Man, one of the main protagonists from the Mass Effect franchise, played by none other than Martin Sheen. Now, the thing about the Elusive Man is he has one of the qualities that I admire most in a villain, I look for in a villain, and that is he doesn't think he's a villain. He thinks he's a hero. He thinks he's doing good, and everything he does is for the greater good. And that's awesome with a villain, because when you have somebody's conviction that's that strong and they believe that they're doing good, there's really no stopping them. You can't convince them otherwise, because they think they're doing it. They think you're the bad guy, and they'll stop at nothing to stop you. Now, the Elusive Man is a very, very intelligent man, and he leaves you thinking throughout pretty much the entire second 2 games, like, this guy knows a hell of a lot more than he's letting on. He knows a hell of a lot more than I do. He's cunning and charismatic, and you want to believe what he says. He makes you want to believe it, but deep down that voice in the back of your head is telling you, yeah, something's not quite right here. For him, humanity above all else. Whatever he has to do to make sure that humanity is safe, he will do. And especially if you're playing Paragon Shepherd, there's some things that you don't really want to do and that you wouldn't do. So like, if you're playing Renegade, whatever, it's like, okay, this is perfect. But as Paragon Shepherd, if you're doing all the good things, there's a lot of things that you don't want to do. In fact, one of the criticisms about Mass Effect 2 is that you don't get the choice. You have to work with him and Cerberus. And a lot of people don't like that because, like I said, especially if you're Paragon Shepherd, they do things that you wouldn't necessarily like. But I think it's awesome because you have to work within the confines of what you have at that time. You don't have any resources. You're lost in space. Everybody thinks that you're dead. This man resurrected you, and even though one of his top-ranking people wanted to put a control chip in you, he even said, no, you know what, I don't want to put a control chip in him. It might change his personality, so he does show signs of being a good guy in that case. Another thing I love about him as a villain is he has nearly unlimited resources. He has all the money he needs. He has all the loyal staff and the backing he needs. All kinds of other humans that just want to protect humanity and nothing else. He even has Shepard. He's not so sure about it. He doesn't know if he's going to get to keep him, but he believes in himself enough and his cunningness and his charisma that he will get to keep him. And he doesn't necessarily turn out that way, but still, he has him for a while, and he still plays pretty much right into his hand with what he needs. Now, one of the endings, one of the choices you have, that shows that he's not overall a bad person. He has good interests in mind, at least for humanity. But Shepard shows him is you're indoctrinated. That's what's going on right now. You need to stop this. And the man, he realizes, he's like, oh, I realize this. It's too late for me. But can't you see what I was trying to do? Can't you see how perfect the Earth is? Like me. He shoots himself, kills himself because he knows that being indoctrinated, it's very dangerous to humanity. So right there, though, like I said, he's not all bad. He did sacrifice himself for what he believes in, and he did a lot of bad things. He wasn't a very good guy, but right there kind of shows there is a glimmer of good in him, and he wasn't completely bad, but still, that makes it even worse because for his noble cause, whatever you want to call it, he's willing to do whatever it takes. And that's kind of like that's the worst kind of villain, because the cause could be noble, but that makes them all the more dangerous, because then they are willing to do whatever it takes for that noble cause to make it come true, to protect whatever, to get whatever. Even if it's a noble cause, they will use completely ruthless efforts to get to that cause. And he's a case of that. Just one final note on him. Playing, if you haven't played the game, definitely play it. Any of the Mass Effects, just play them. With him, he's another guy you love to hate. You don't know if you can trust him at first, and just the decisions he starts making, and once the things that he wants you to do, they just make you hate him more and more. And it gets to the point where, like, yes, I finally get to kick this guy's ass. And at the end, it's kind of like, wow, I feel kind of bad for him. So, that's another great kind of villain. Just one that you hate so much, and you want to put him in his place, and at the end you're left feeling bad for him. Like, wow, he really isn't that bad. He just has some questionable tactics. Next up at number 4, we have Mr. X and his syndicate from the Streets of Rage franchise. Some of my all-time favorite games, I know I say is about a lot of the games that I've mentioned on this list here, but easily in my top 5 favorite side-scrollers. It's just a great game. Another game I highly recommend playing if you've never played it. So Mr. X is, in his syndicate, he took over the whole city, basically. It's an unnamed city, but he's basically taken over the entire city. His thugs are everywhere. He's paid off the police force. He's paid off all the officials, so as a civilian walking down the street, you get mugged, nothing's going to happen. Police aren't doing anything for you. The reason, other than me loving the game, the reason I picked him and put him up so high on the list is because it's realistic. That's something that could happen. Somebody with enough money and influence could easily do that. They could take over an entire city, pay off everybody, and basically run it as their own. So he's another one. He's completely ruthless. The game just has such a great story, and Mr. X has such a great story, and it's the whole game you're walking through the streets, but they are filled with his thugs and his assassins, because there's no one there to stop him. Other than you, there's no one there to stop him. There's no safe part of town to walk through. And that's what makes him so dangerous. He just, like the Elusive Man, he has so many resources at his disposal, and money talks. He can buy off anybody, and he can buy anybody's loyalty, and that's exactly what he does. So you're walking through streets, you're walking through a city that is infested with people that are loyal to him, and to get to him, you have to fight your way through a whole city full of his henchmen. Another thing that's so dangerous about him is when you defeat him, which you do multiple times, he doesn't stay down. He does not stay down. He comes back better than ever, bigger and better than ever, with more resources. And in the second one, he kidnaps one of the original protagonists. Like, he does not stop, and he will not stop until he has complete control. In the third one, he's a brain in a jar. That's all that's left of him, and he's still going, and he still has a massive crime empire. That's the persistence of him. Is just, he will stop at nothing to have complete control and complete power of the city. And you probably eventually further than that, but you start with a city, you work your way up to a state, and then you can take over the country. But he stops at nothing, and it's next to impossible to stop him. Spoiler alert, at the end of 3, he does die, but if they ever made a Streets of Rage 4, he doesn't necessarily die. I mean, you could rewrite it that he did not die. Because honestly, it takes a lot more than that to kill him. And even if he's dead, there's plenty of people who came into his influence and his money afterwards that you might not know about, that can do just the same things that he did. So Mr. X may be dead, but the Syndicate lives on forever. And that is why he is number 4. Number 3 on the list is from my favorite game series of all time, StarCraft. Now this is where the list started getting a little difficult. It was very hard to pick who I liked more and who belonged higher up on the list. But I chose Kerrigan for number 3. Now, as I said, StarCraft was one of my favorite, it's my absolute favorite game series, and a lot of people like it for online play, which is fun, but for me it's the story. I've always loved StarCraft for the story, and I hope that Blizzard doesn't make World of StarCraft like they did with Warcraft and ruin that for me. I hope they just keep it at StarCraft. I hope there's a StarCraft 3. I would love a StarCraft 3. So one of the interesting things about Kerrigan is overall she's not bad. Overall she's very, very good, actually. She starts off kind of brainwashed by her own people, and then the brainwash is gone, but then she's deceived by her own people. She's good, but she's deceived by her own people. Then she becomes evil. She becomes Zerg and becomes evil, and then she's freed. She's freed from the Xel'Naga's grasp, and she becomes good again. So, very back and forth with her, but overall she is good. I don't know, you just love to hate her. The story just brings you in so much, at least for me. It brought me in so much, and her ferocity, just how many people she kills, how many people that you come to love that she kills. It makes you hate her, and it makes you want to defeat her. And then, spoiler alert, in Brood War, you're like, oh, we're finally taking it to her. No, you're not. She becomes the dominant force, and the only reason you survive is because she allows you to. She pulls back and allows you to. And it leaves you like, why? I just need to defeat you. And I hated it, but it's what made StarCraft 2, so highly anticipated is, I believe it was 12 years from Brood War to StarCraft 2. 12 years waiting for a sequel. 12 years of nope, sequel's never happening. 12 years of rumors that weren't true. 12 years of fan creations. Website campaignCreations.com had all kinds of fan-made campaigns and years of that. And finally we get StarCraft 2, a real StarCraft 2. So continuing with StarCraft and Brood War, she's still the queen bitch. She's the queen of blades. Nobody can tell her what to do. She does whatever she wants, and there's nobody that's going to stop her. Old friend of ours, Zeratul, convinces her that, what's happening, what's really going on, shows her what's really going on, and she kind of feels it, and she knows it too, but she sees it and can't really do much about it. She's still under the control of Aemon as Xel'Naga. Raynor breaks that, turns her human again. Even though she's human again, she doesn't necessarily want to be. She's fine with becoming Zerg because free of him, she sees what needs to be done, and she knows that being the Queen of Blades and controlling the Swarm is the main way to do that. The Swarm, the Terran, and the Protoss all together is what's needed to stop Aemon. And she knows that, and that's another thing. Like I said, as a villain, she is so good, but she's still, like the elusive man, makes the ultimate sacrifice. It turns out not to be the ultimate sacrifice, but she does. She's willing to make that ultimate sacrifice to save humanity and save everyone and protect everything. Like I said, she's not... I kind of thought about not putting her on the list because she's not really a villain. She is through most of it, but deep down she isn't a villain. But still, like I said, in StarCraft and Brood War especially, you're fighting her and it's just... You want her to die so bad. You want to stop it. You want to be like, you know what, bitch? I got your number. It's time. And then every time you think you do, you don't. And that's with her. That's the main reason I picked her. Just the raw emotion that she can elicit from you for a video game. The raw emotion that she can elicit from you, at least for me, is just, it's so powerful. And I don't know. It just. You love her and you love to hate her, and then you love her again, you love to hate her, just back and forth, back and forth. Overall, you end up loving her. She is a good person deep down, and she does what she needs to do, and she does what she has to do in some case when she's being controlled by someone else, but overall, she does what's good, what's right, and she sacrifices everything for it. I know, ending it like that's not very good for a villain list, like the top villains, and this bitch saved everybody. But no, like I said, it's the emotion. It's the raw emotion of hate and dislike and everything and vengeance that you just want to bestow upon her that makes her such a great villain. And even though in the end she's a hero, when she's a villain, damn, she's one of the best villains. Number 2 from the Borderlands franchise. I love Handsome Jack. He's such an asshole, but I love him, and I think a lot of people do. It's the way he's an asshole and the way he's a villain that it's awesome. It's like, man, I want to be that. I mean, maybe not that complete of a villain, but like, man, I want to be that kind of sarcastic asshole. Just like with the Elusive Man, Jack has that character trait where he believes that he is the good guy. He knows that he's the good guy, and he consistently refers to himself as the hero, as a hero. And, I mean, honestly, he may be to a degree. I mean, if you haven't seen Matt Pat's theory on it, he has a theory of is Handsome Jack actually the hero? And it's a great theory, and it does put things in perspective, but, like, he kind of is, He wants all crime and villainy to be gone. Yes, he kind of wants it by destroying basically everything and, having complete control himself, but he wants to do it for the good reasons. He wants there to be order, and he wants the outlaws that are all over the place to go away so people can walk down the streets safe and not have to worry about outlaws everywhere. His cause may be noble, but his methods aren't always so good. He is willing to sacrifice anyone and anything to get to his end goal. And that includes his daughter. Now, he loves her. He doesn't want her to ever die. He loves her, but he basically uses her as a human computer to trick the original Vault Hunters and to run everything. And she just lives a life as a computer, basically. I mean, he does love her, but he uses her power to get what he wants. Jack will use whoever and whatever he needs to get rid of the outlaws. And that includes Vault Hunters. He will use them until they're no longer useful to him, or until he no longer trusts them, or just until he's done with them completely, and then he'll kill them, or have his henchmen kill them. There are just so many things that make him a great villain, and so many reasons I put him on the list. The main one is just his humor, his wit, and everything. It's like you're playing and he's saying these horrible things and insulting you and trying to kill you and saying all these things while he's trying to kill you, and you're just laughing because it's so funny. It's like you want to hate him, but you can't. And there is a point in the game. I'm not going to go into it because I don't want to lapse into going into game storyline again, but there is a point in the game where you do start to hate him. You're like, this guy has to die. But then, after a few scenes, once again, you're back to, man, this guy's funny. I love him. And after playing the pre-sequel, you just love him even more. And you kind of understand him more, especially going back and replaying 2 after the pre-sequel. You understand him more, and you feel bad, and you love him even more. It's like he's such a human character, and he is flawed. He's a flawed human, but that's what makes it great. So he's not some omnipotent evil power. He's a flawed human character who has a lot of money and a lot of influence, and he has a noble cause. He just doesn't go about it in the noblest of ways. Jack is an iconic villain, and I know I said I was going to stay away from iconic villains. That's why I didn't put like Ganons and Bowser's on there. But with Jack, I can't help but put him on the list. And obviously, he's in my list. He's not the number one villain. He's not the top villain. But like, it took everything I had not to put him up there. It was such a hard choice between the two. I kind of like the number one choice is one I had in mind. But Jack is just he's so great that I wanted to put him as one, but I didn't. But he is one on a lot of people's lists, and he ranks highly in a lot of other ones. And, with some of the other iconic villains, I don't want to say he's better than them, but I kind of do. He is an iconic villain now. He's better than your Bowsers. He's better than your Ganons. I mean, they're classics, but Jack has become a classic, and he is what a villain should be. He's misunderstood. He's egomaniacal. He believes that what he's doing is the right thing and the good thing, and he's willing to do whatever it takes to make his viewpoint, his dream, come to life and come true. And he does want all-consuming power, but for a cause that seems to be a good one, at least to him. And he just is a perfect all-around villain. And like I said, it was very hard for me not to put him as number one, but number one is different type of villain, but he definitely is more villainous than Jack, let's say. But that being said, either way, Jack, other than this guy, on most lists, in most categories, I would say Jack is number one. And he's a villain that hasn't been around that long. He's not your classic Nintendo or Sega villains, but he's become a classic villain in a not very long period of time. He's become one of the classics easily, and I put him on par with, or honestly better than the classic villains. Hope you guys have enjoyed the episode so far. If you have, go ahead and drop a like after, and subscribe for more fun videos like this one. Thought you could see this cool guy. So before we get into number one, enjoy this montage of some honorable mentions that just barely didn't make the cut. Now the moment you've all been waiting for, and the moment I've been waiting for, because this guy has had it coming for quite some time. Number one from the Animal Crossing series. The shiesty trash panda himself, Tom frickin' Nook. Yeah, I didn't want to swear in this video, but with him, I have no choice. Fuck Tom Nook. Alright? Fuck Tom Nook. The creators defend him. Oh, he's a good guy, He takes a risk putting his money in you and taking a chance with you. No, there's no risk. There's no risk. You know what he did? He took a risk in putting you in debt. That's what he did. Now, the only one I've played in the franchise is New Leaf. So I haven't had that much time of dealing with this shiesty bastard. But a lot of people have been dealing with him for years, and they've come to hate him. And I didn't even know there was like a hatred community for Tom Nook out there. I thought I was the only one because, when I tell people, fuck Tom Nook, they're like, why? He's such a cute little raccoon. He's from Animal Crossing, man. It's a nice game. Why that? Why would you say that? Because he's shiesty, man. He's shiesty. And a lot of you people apparently know that too. He put you in debt. His goal was to put you in debt from the beginning. So right off the bat, you owe money. You owe money right off the bat. And you want to upgrade your house? Okay, well, not even that. You pay off your mortgage, right? You know what? I'd like to pay off my mortgage and that's it. I'm fine. Nope. Can't do that. When you pay off your mortgage, your house is upgraded now. Guess what? You have to pay some more. And then you keep doing it and he keeps upgrading. Now, granted, it's nice because he, for an exorbitant amount of bells, which is the currency in Animal Crossing, he gives you a little shanty shit house, but still, it's maybe that's what I want. I just want a nice little beach shanty. I don't want to upgrade it. I'm trying to pay off my mortgage so I'm not in debt, man. And you just keep adding it on. What kind of world is that, man? How is that even legal? So originally he started off as a shopkeeper that also gave you your house. Now he's the real estate agent. He might as well be the mayor of the frickin' town because he controls everything. And to make money, you gotta buy stuff. You buy stuff from the shop. You gotta buy yourself a shovel to dig stuff up to sell. You gotta buy a fishing rod to get some fish to sell. And you know what? You know where you buy these things from? His shiesty sons, Timmy and Tommy Nook. It's a family business now. They're just screwing you from three directions. You're giving money to this crooked-ass family so you can get items to get money to give to this crooked-ass family. It is such a scheme and a scam, and it's ridiculous. And this is why he beat out Handsome Jack. Handsome Jack at least had a noble cause. This guy, no. He says he has a noble cause. He wants to help you out and make sure you're living in a home, but no, that is not his cause. His cause is to put you in debt and to put you constantly owing him money. So, another thing in New Leaf, eventually you can travel to the island where you can collect exotic beetles. For all you know, they're poisonous. You don't know. They might have these nasty bites or they might be poisonous as shit. But you're you need money so bad, you're going around and hitting these trees and shaking them and catching these beetles. That's ridiculous. You got to catch bugs just so you can afford to live and afford to eat from this shiesty family. On top of all of this, there's so many isms that he's guilty of. And why don't we just go down the list? There's many. Let's go on the list and see what all this son of a bitch is guilty of. We got communism. We sure the son of a bitch isn't a red panda? Because he's the definition of it. A classless society in which people can't own property. You don't own property. You basically rent from Tom frickin' Nook. Yeah, you bought it and you have a mortgage, but you can't ever get out of that debt. He might as well own you. Capitalism. The big one. Of course he's guilty of that. He wants to run everything. He's a private owner, and he wants his free market to run the economy. And that's exactly what he does, because he put everybody in debt. Everybody pays up to him to make their livings. And, if they need some supplies now, they pay up to his crooked-ass sons, too. Absolutism. Yes, there's a mayor. How often do you see that mayor? How often do you deal with that mayor? Not very often. He's a shadow mayor. Tom Nook is the one and only in charge. He's an absolutist. He's the definition of it. This son of a bitch puts everybody in debt, including the mayor, because he owns the mayor's house, and that puts him in complete control and completely in charge of everything, because you stand up to him, well, guess what? You're homeless now. Get the fuck off my island. We got bullionism, the belief in metallic currency. And we know he believes in that, because what's the form of currency in Animal Crossing? Bells. Metallic bells. And Tom Nook has pretty much all of them. And when you finally get yourself up a nice stack of them, guess what? They end up with Tom Nook anyway. Adamatism. Now, I don't know if his nakedness is because of religion, but early on, all he wore is a frickin' apron. This is a children's game, man. Have some decorum. Like, he's running around naked. I know you can afford to buy clothes. You took all my money and I can afford to buy clothes, so where are yours? There's no excuse for it. Put some frickin' clothes on, man. Nepotism. That's another obvious one. Now his shiesty sons are in business running the town shop. He used all of his money to put his kids in power. Ain't that something? And you know what? On top of it, he's teaching them to be naked, because now all they wear is the same thing as their dear old dad did. They're running around wearing aprons and nothing else. What kind of a father figure is that? Huh? Not a very good one, I'll tell you that. He's running around naked, and he finally can afford to buy some clothes. He's like, you know what, kids? You'll get my hand-me-downs when you're old enough. Just do what I did. Run around naked. Nobody cares. We care, Tom Nook, because we're not pedophiles. We don't want to see a bunch of naked animal kids running around with nothing but an apron on. It's disgusting. You disgust me, Tom Nook. It's sick, and you should have your children taken away from you, and you should be put in prison. Last but not least, we have immoralism. The rejection of morality. As you can see by all the other isms I just went through, he rejects morality on a daily basis. You need a place to live? Rather than the kindness of his heart giving you a place to live. Nope. Here's a place to live. You owe me a lot of money now. And on top of that, you can never truly own it either. He believes in the almighty bell and its power to just rule everything, from the economy to the government to all of the citizens that are in debt to him. Man, as I said, on top of all that, he likes to run around naked. And he likes to put his kids in power and let them run around naked. This man has no morals. He has no values. He has no ethics. He's a scumbag. He's a scumbag trash panda. And somebody needs to do something about him. Nintendo, you need to pull this man away. Somebody has to do something. There needs to be an Animal Crossing RPG in which you go on a quest to defeat the evil Tom Nook and his evil little kids. And you know something, Tom Nook? The reckoning is coming. I'm going to pick New Leaf back up. I'm going to live in my little shithouse shanty for the entirety of the game. I don't need upgrades. I don't need expanded rooms. You ain't getting any money from me, bud. So you just deal with it. You just sit there. You collect your bells from everybody else. You ain't getting them from me. And you know what? You little shiesty kids, they're not getting my business out of there. I'll figure it out somehow. I don't need their help, and I don't need your help, Tom Nook. We're breaking free from your system, man. It's over. And now that I'm all fired up, that's the end of this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and drop me a like. If you didn't, drop me a like anyway. I don't want any dislikes. I already had one and I'm good. That's all I need. I'm also interested in hearing what you guys thought. What you guys think of my list, what you would change, what you would do differently, and what your list would be. So leave those down in the comments below, because I'm interested in seeing those, and maybe I'll read some of them off on my next episode. Hope you guys keep tuning in. I got all kinds of fun stuff planned coming up soon here. Just need the time to record them, but stay tuned, because there's going to be plenty more fun stuff. I'm going to be doing some collaborations with other people too, so hope to see you guys for that. I'm real excited about it. I'm real excited to see you back. So, all that being said, don't just have a great day. Have a hardcore day.